What's going on YouTube? Modeling Nut back at you here. So wanted to take and just do one more quick video on this build. So if you guys have been following along, obviously seen it get to this point. I ran into some issues though that I just kind of wanted to point out for this build, but then also just to kind of give a bit of encouragement if you happen to hit a rough spot in a model build or something like that. So obviously, from your perspective, build looking pretty good, not too bad. Um, had some major incidences with the decals going down. So my decal setting solutions of choice are the mark setter and softener from Mr. Hobby. Absolutely love these things. They work great. However, for the Hasegawa decals, these are way too hot, especially the softener. It seems like it is just way too hot of a softener, especially as an initial way to bed those decals in. What I've had to utilize is a product that I don't use much, and that is the Microset and Sol products from Microscale Industries. I don't use them to the point that I'm gonna have to run up to the hobby shop and get another thing of Sol because this is about halfway through, and if I should tip it, I'm definitely SOL until I get one. So, but the incidents that I had was like on the ventral fins. The black is actually a decal that will overlay and fold under with the white pinstripe. The decal is too wide, so when it folds over against this outer edge, it actually sticks up about, I'd say, a solid mil or so. That creates problems because of the fact that I had already attached these. If I hadn't attached them, probably wouldn't have ran into the problem. But again, you don't do the decals until at the end. That then created a situation to where the white did not lay in the correct spot. It laid more towards the edge. As I was using even the microscale setting solutions, it cracked, broke apart, and the line just went to crap. So instead of chucking the plane across the room, which a part of me wanted to do when I started running into these, broke out the Posca pins. Again, I will tout these until the cows come home, and did a line with the 1 mil. It was way too big. It was it's a huge nib comparative to the line that you see here. So what I then did was let that dry for a few moments, and then utilize the Posca pen flat black to then outline the bottom and the inner edge. Is it a perfect line? No. If you set it down like out on a shelf or something like that, like this, are you going to notice it? Probably not. Would non-modelers that come and see this sitting on a shelf, are they going to notice it? Probably not. They'll see the candy canes, laugh about that, and probably move on. Just being honest. So the other thing that I had happen, and again, I'm pushing on with this because I love this scheme, and I knew from going into it that I'm not going to be able to build show quality models. At least this one was not going to be that. This was going to be more of just a fun build for the Christmas season. So, the fact that it's not perfect, I'm okay with that. Some of it will kind of get hit in weathering, things like that as well. The other big incident that I had, though, was when I turned this around. If you look at the word Navy on this side, looks good. That decal I had no problems with. However, this side, I had a big problem with one of the 4 letters. Before I tell you the story, can you guess or tell which letter I ran into the problem with? Well, the issue came on the letter N. I got it laid down. This vertical line and a little nib of the angled line was all that was left of this letter when it decided to just absolutely shatter. As I was putting actually the microsol on it, I wasn't even utilizing anything else. So again, went to my spares box, didn't have a spare. What do I do? Well, instead of fretting or getting irritated about it, grabbed out my pen. carefully drew in the letter, and I had to do this about 3 or 4 times to get it to look as right as it can. And with a very fine short liner brush here that I have, good old Hobby Lobby brush, took the original paint, the dark ghost gray, and re-outlined the letter in. Again, is it perfect? No. But if I hadn't told you that story, would you have ever even noticed that that letter was wrong? The whole reason that I'm making this video and kind of pointing out some of the pitfalls that I've had with this, I also had major issues with the decals here on the top of the vertical fins here at the back, or the tail fin, or the tail sections here. The whole reason that I'm telling you guys this story is, if a build's not going quite right, or you hit a problem, it can be corrected. Don't get uber frustrated. Don't let it uber frustrate you to the point that you just want to throw it in the bin and not finish it. Push through. Find and just stop, take a breath, and look at it and go, what can I do to fix this problem that I am now presented with? And then start working your way through it. Again, when I seen that, I did initially get that reaction of, I just want to chuck this thing. But looking at it now, I'm glad I didn't. So hopefully that just encourages somebody who's hit, a rough spot in a build, or again, you get near the end of a build like this and something goes completely sideways. That's, out of your control. Sometimes, that is the course of life. And so it's, taking those in stride and then pushing on and, completing it and seeing it through to the end. So hopefully that just encourages somebody today, and I will catch you guys in the next one.